everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie, Billy Boy, Amazon Prime, $4.99. So I can't really find anything else. Neither can you. That's why you're checking out this video, and I'm here to tell you whether it's good or not. I can't tell you. It stars Blake Jenner, who is a troubled teen or an angry teen who finds out his friend is dead. I don't know if he was killed or if he just, dies some other way, but his anger starts to get the best of him. I believe he starts getting in some kind of trouble, and that's what this story is about. Also in this movie, Melissa Benoist. So she's Supergirl, and I remember when Supergirl first came out, I was like, I don't know if I like her as Supergirl. I do. Helen Slater was always Supergirl, but I do like Melissa. I watch that show regularly. I like the character she portrays. Anyway, I never watched Glee, so I don't know much about her from that. And Blake Jenner, we know from American Animals. If you haven't seen that, check out that movie. I thought that was pretty good. And enough about that. Oh, one quick fact that I shouldn't say it's a fact because I think I read it. I could have dreamt it. You might know. If you do, let me know. I've heard that Melissa Benoist and Blake Jenner were married. Whether they were married during this film or prior or at some point, I think they had Splitsville, and I think they're divorced now. But I think I heard that somewhere. So I don't know if it's true or not. I'll do a little research as you wait for me to come back. But I'll check out the movie and see if it's any good. IMDb, I don't know if I told you, has it a 4.6, so very low expectations. But I'll try and be brief and let you know what the plot's really about and how it's going. So stick around. Thanks. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Billy Boy. Yep, no check-ins here, none needed. I thought they really had something here. Nothing too crazy original. It's essentially a bunch of kids, or 4 kids, 17-year-olds or whatever. They're young adults, whatever, and they basically carjack people and steal and stuff like that, and beat people up. They're thugs essentially, and that's their livelihood. And because of that, in the beginning, the 4 of them are doing it. And Blake Jenner's character questions what one of the Mikey, whatever, maybe he's the main one. It probably was the main guy. They obviously get in a fight, and he beats him up a little bit and then leaves him on the street, whatever. So they go about their way, and then as they're separated, one of the other 3 remaining gang members or thugs gets killed, and it ends up that Blake and him were really good friends. That's what the whole movie is about. So it starts to try and figure out what happened, and right there you got something. He's Blake Jenner's character's got to go back and figure out from his thugs and stuff like that, and then you throw in a love interest from Melissa Benoist, and see where it goes and see what happens here. Do they figure it all out? It's stuff that we've seen before, not too creative, and I think what they try to do was because like I said, we've seen this before. They tried to get too cute with it. So throughout the movie, they started showing like almost rewinds. Like you started from the point and it rewinds backwards, where people are actually walking backwards, kind of thing. And I really thought the first couple of times, and maybe this is the way, they didn't film it that way. They didn't rewind it. They actually had people walk backwards to give you the illusion that you're rewinding the scene. That's what I was thinking. That's how it looked. But then they did it so much, and it was pointless rewinds. It wasn't like a very meaningful, like, okay, they show this part, and it's like, oh, how did that happen? How did we come to this point? And then they hit rewind, and they're like, oh, wow. No, it was silly stuff, like people walking into a building, and then they just rewind it back out. So they try to get cute that way. Then it's very timeline jumpy. I don't know how you describe it that way, but they try and do flashbacks or flash sideways, or I have no idea. I was trying to figure it out and follow it to see what was going on. Like, you can kind of see pieces of it. As the whole beginning of the plot where Blake Jenner gets beat up, then he goes to Melissa Benoist and says, sorry, I haven't called. There's a scene hours later where they kind of show where they kind of met. It doesn't show where they met, but it shows the beginnings of their relationship. But it's so all over the place, you have no idea what's going on. His whole thing is to try and figure out what happened to his friend, and hopefully to take care of it or something to happen. and somehow they become friends again, but you don't know, is it a flash forward, flash backward, flash sideways? You know, I'm okay with what they did with the ending. It was how they got to it, and how convoluted it was made because of all the jumpiness. There was, you know, small character development, I think. I mean, I don't think I needed much more from Mikey and from Blake Jenner's character, and really Vanessa Benoist, sorry. But the other two guys, there's no development there. They're just, you know, background noise, to be honest with you. Just to add up. I mean, the one guy is the whole point of the story, but, you know, there's nothing there. There's no, you know, small little pieces on how they got there. There's no relationship development between the four guys. There's, you know, between the two, Blake Jenner and the guy who dies, there's small development there, but by the end of the movie, they kind of make they want you to believe that they were best friends. At least Mikey and Blake Jenner. And again, that other guy was just noise, except for the last piece that he did that was silly. But there's none of that. There's no relationship development between the boys that make you think like, oh, they're a tight group kind of thing. So I get now why it's 4.6. When I started watching this in the beginning 30 minutes of it, I was like, how could this be a 4.6? This has got to be much better. It's, you know, just starting out, and I think it's around a 7. And then they really mess it up. They tried to get too cute with a very common story, and it makes it a mess. I'm not probably going to give it a 4. I did like Blake Jenner a little bit. I liked Melissa Benoist in it. The other guy, I don't know. It's just, I don't know whose fault this is. Is this the director's fault? Or the producer? I'm assuming it's got to be the director, not the producer. I'm always interested to know whose fault it was. But anyway, that's all I got. The director was Bradley Buecker, B-U-E-C-K-E-R. Anyway, I just want to keep this short. It's not, I don't think it's worth your time. It's somewhat interesting. I'm going to give it a 5. Don't want to give it a 4 because I like the acting. And that's it. I'm trying to keep it short for you, so hopefully I helped you out. Help you make a decision on whether you want to see it or not. I think if you have anything else in the chamber, you might want to watch that. But if you run out of movies like this guy does just about every night, you could throw it in there and be as disappointed as I am. So that's it. That's all I got for you. Hopefully it was short enough and you stuck with me throughout the whole thing. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish.